Hey guys, this is Ken. This is the second part of the adding interactivity to your web page. Now, I wasn't really sure which walkthrough I should do, whether it was a contact form or whatever. So I decided to do one that is very popular. It's called a slider. And for the record, this one is jQuery Nevo slider. And this is what, when you download it, this is what you would see, okay? It's got some links and stuff, but we have to kind of remove all of this extra stuff. All we want is this part, and we want to make sure that we have our own images in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way. Here is my root folder to my web page, the one we created in the last video. This is the Nevo script. So what I'm going to do, the only real way to make sure to remove a lot of the little problems that you might have is to carry this file structure all the way over. And what I mean by that is typically if you were to open this up and you'd see images, we may think that moving this over to the images would be the way to go, but honestly, it probably isn't. So I'm going to leave this structure the same. I'm going to copy all the way down. I'm going to take the license.txt, which you don't really need, all of this other stuff, and I am going to grab it and put it here. Now, if I've done this properly, this should work fine when I grab this and show it in the browser. Now you can see I've actually changed the images already. What I did is in Photoshop, I took one of the images that came with the Nevo slider. I took that into Photoshop, and then I went and grabbed my image, placed it inside that canvas and resized my image to fit the original image that came with the slider. And then I exported it as the same name as the original. Okay, so just so that you kind of get what I'm talking about, I'm going to open up the demo here. I'm going to look at the images, and you'll see Nemo. And Nemo is this image right here. Toy Story is this one. Up is this one. Wall-E is this one. Okay, so that just made it easier on me. Now there's more that you can do, and if you want to experiment a little bit, I encourage you to. For this situation, I wanted it to be as easy as it could possibly be, so I'm showing you the easiest way that I could think of to have you put the slider in your website. All right. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Our first goal is to remove a lot of this extra stuff. We don't want this in here. We don't want this stuff up here. We do want these dots, and we want the images. All right, so I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to close this out. And then I am going to go into index. Now, honestly, it shouldn't be called index, but we're going to be removing all the information. But I'm going to open this in Dreamweaver. Now, it's got a lot of Google ads and stuff like that in there, so we're going to kind of try our best to remove that. All right, so when I look at this right here, I see the title, this ad service. I'm denying this. This could end up being a problem. All right, so I'm going to start removing things that I don't want. For example, I don't want the title here. I'm going to hit delete. We do want this. We do want this. I would say for the most part, we want all of these styles. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to take it into my demo slider, and I'm going to put it in the head of my document. Okay, my head starts right here, right? I'm going to put it right after the CSS link. I'll do Command V. I'm going to go back into index, and I am going to, I think what I'm going to do next, I do not want the links, so I'm going to grab these right here, and I am going to delete these. Now, every time I need to check to make sure if I've broken it, it should show up here as not working. Okay? I see that there's a Google ad here, and I am going to remove that. So I'm going to click over here. Got this, cannot connect to server, that's fine. I have another JavaScript, page 2, Google syndication, show ads, JavaScript. I am going to select this. It looks like I have a closing div that I don't need. I'm going to remove that. I'll click here. Let's hope it's still working. Okay, it's still working, so we're good. Now I'm going to look for, see this text right here, jQuery? I see jQuery Nevo slider, so I do not want that. I do not want this closing div. Okay. Now at this point, I'm looking at this and saying, this looks about like what I need. I think, if I remember correctly, there was some problems with, there was a problem with more ads, more scripts. But I think I am going to copy this, edit, copy. I'm going to go into my demo slider, and down right towards the bottom, I think I have, this is where the slider is going to be. So I'm going to delete this. I'm also going to hit, again, I remember what I said about a lot of space. This will tell me where it starts and where it ends. I'm going to put this right here, Command V, and I'm going to save this. Now let's see. It is in demo images. Let's see if I can get a preview out of this. Okay? And there you have it. Now it looks like I wonder if I messed up the style because I don't have my styles. I'm going to check real quick. I'm going to come up into here I have href. Okay, that is there. I'm going to put this, because remember what I said, that the browser reads sequentially. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this is the last style sheet, so that if there's anything that has been modified, this should be the last one. Now I'm going to save it and preview it again. Okay. Now, if we were to look at this, this is working. What I do see is there's a conflict, and the conflict is with the H1. So what I need to do is to go in and find which style is telling the H1 to do something that I don't want it to do. What I can do is modify my style. So if I were to go into, if I go in here and I see H1 somewhere, basically what I'm doing, I'm going into each one of these and I'm going to look for H1. I'm not seeing any so far. Now I know that there was an H1 in there. Okay. Okay, here's H1 right here. And notice where it says H1 margin 0 padding. I am going to remove the H2 or the H3. I'm not using any of the other H's. So just H1 and H3. So I'm going to leave these like this. I'm going to remove this right here because I don't want it to conflict with my body tag. And then here we have, it's telling it a different style, so I'm going to remove that. Here's the hover and active. I'm going to remove that. And then I should be able to hit save. I will preview and see what happens. File, real-time preview, Firefox, and okay, we have our page back. All right, so that's basically it. It wasn't that difficult. Now, I did pick something that is known to be relatively simple. What we can do is we can go in and play around with these a little bit. So I think right now, if you feel comfortable doing it, I would say go ahead and get started. For the rest of you who want to put this information in, let's give it a shot. Now, I haven't played around with it yet, but I'm going to look for, see where it says this? I'm going to get this right here. I'm going to get rid of the strong. That just means bold. I can put a link. I can say index.html or whatever you want it to say. I'm going to change this right here. Which one is that? That it says this is an example of HTML. Two guys smoking. Two guys smoking after a car accident. Okay, so I will save that and I will do File, Preview, Firefox, and we'll bring this in and I'll scroll down. Two guys smoking after an accident, and this takes it to the home page. All right, so it's pretty simple. It's however you want to do it. You can actually just add other images in, anything that you want. All right, now normally I want to get this online. It's getting kind of late right now, so I want to make sure that it's online as soon as possible so I can send something out to you guys, let you know that it's there.